I'll start talking whenever. Live now. There we go. I'm gonna mute myself. Okay. Let me see here. Let's look at chat. I am going to try to keep chat up. Actually, I want to edit my main screen to where I can follow chat on the OBS. I need to figure out how to do that. So, there's that. I'm going to pause the video. Yes, okay. I think that's going to work. Try the mod view. Okay. Go to mod view. See if that lets me change anything. Come on. Am I stuttering here at all, or? Yeah, it's not. It's not good. All right, so I'm gonna close it. Yeah, I'm gonna close that. Let's make sure I got everything closed down that I don't eat up. You think for i7 this wouldn't be so bad? Plus, we probably don't have anybody there. They don't jump in like right until I start talking too much. So, yeah. Let's see here. I got the new camera mount. It came. Finally, it got delayed, and Amazon offered to refund my money. Said sure, I get it for free. So. Close that. Close. Make sure I ain't got nothing else open. Close that. Where's that? Right there. Discord. Alright, I think I'm good. Let's check my hands here. We're looking good here. See where I'm at. Okay, right here is the sweet spot. Okay. Right about there. Alright. Cool. So I was able to actually pick something up at Hobby Lobby. The watercolor pencils from Crayola. Yeah, so instead of just having those other ones, and this does come with the white one. It doesn't come with the gray one. So to give you all an update, okay, I got an orange out right here. And so we got this race guard I've been working on. Oh, please don't glitch out. So just come in here with this, it's right here, and be like, I'm going to edge highlight. I want to look so awesome. Boom, edge highlighting right there. I don't have to do anything. And then I've got, of course, this was $4.99, but then you got the 40% off coupon, so it's like $2. Well, $2.60. So, let's see here. Do want to talk about some tools this week. First tool I want to talk about is a tool on my phone. It's Paint Rack. So Paint Rack, they sent me some stickers because I was in their beta test. I have it on Android and iOS. I would show it to you on my phone, but my phone's currently right here, so I can't really do that. But Paint Rack is an application that allows you to inventory your paint, and it allows you to do all those color matching and things like that, so you won't have any issues like trying to find colors that match if your store doesn't carry a certain brand of paint, so it's easier to match stuff up. So, oh, I think I just bit my tooth. Anyway, but yeah, so Paint Rack's a pretty cool app. It helps me because where I'm colorblind and stuff, I always like to talk about it because it's a cool app. It's only like $4 and it's totally worth it. I will say on the iOS version of it, it doesn't have the camera option yet, and it's coming. It is coming. So today we're going to, as I said, paint a dragon. So this dragon came from Hobby Lobby, and it was originally like $14, and the coupon got 40% off. Hobby Lobby should really start sponsoring me because I shop there all the time. Anyway, and tell you all about them. So anyway, so this is the Steel Dragon. I put it in my notes on the Patreon. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint this as a red dragon. And so what you've noticed I've done is I have went and primered the model. And I took my brown wash that I made 2 weeks ago. And I washed the model just to fill in the crevices and add color to this. And this is a process called underpainting. So we're going to be working with this a little bit here shortly. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to do our hobby hack. And our hobby hack is kind of cool. So especially for you guys that are cheap like I am. So we've got some wonderful bottles here. First we've got the Liquitex Matte Medium that we had last time. There you go. That's what we used in our brown wash. This stuff is amazing. It's pretty much, this is the acrylic binder in paint. We've got Glaze Medium. This is a little bit more expensive, but it's really cool. There's lots of things you can do with this. Then we're going to be using a little bit of Vallejo airbrush thinner. Not a lot. So, and then I've got this magical bottle right here. This is some hard to get stuff. Very hard to get right here. This magical blue bottle. I only need 1 drop of this. And I did not put the ingredient in the Patreon because this stuff is so hard to come by. And it's really hard. It's dishwashing liquid. Anyway. So I've got me a container here. This is a P3 container from P3 where I've emptied it out and put it into the a dropper bottle. And or these are the same bottles that Coat the Arms use. I actually really like these compared to the Citadel bottles because they're easier to get open and shut, and they don't dry out at all like Citadel does. So now what we're getting ready to recreate is this. This is called Contrast Medium. You can see how fluid. I will show you down here. See how expensive it is. $7.80 at my local store, but you see how fluid it is here. I may need to decrease the bit rate. Is it glitching out on you guys? Okay, let me fix that real quick. Boom. Okay, let's do output and adjust bit rate. Let's keyframe every. Let's do every 2. Sorry, I'm gonna have to pull this off the rack real quick. Keyframe every 10 minutes and just a bit right down. Where we at? We'll do that. Let's see how that works. That might be a little bit better. Hold on. Come on. How's that looking? Is it too terribly bad? Okay, let's put this back up in here. I do like this camera mount for my phone here. I'm going to move this a little bit, though. It does shake, though. I will tell you that. So, here's the formula that I use. Okay, first of all, we're going to do 4 parts glazing medium. So, this is an 18 milliliter bottle. Get the dirty paint water out of here. I got my dropper. I kind of rinsed it out some. It's fine. So this is an 18 ml bottle. We're going to use, I say 4 ml of the glaze medium. Real quick here. Let's see here. So 4 millimeters of that. So what this does is, I've told y'all in the past that glaze medium is pretty much what we would use back in the day before we had contrast paints or the liner paints, and but it does leave a shine. Like this is a gloss; it's not matte at all, but it allows you to make your mixture sort of opaque or not opaque, but clear. So therefore, you can put layer upon layer and just keep tinting your model here. So I'm done with that. Well, I might be able to make doubles, so we'll find out here in a minute. All right. Actually, yeah, let's do that. All right, let's just double it up. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I don't care. I'm crazy like that. Okay. There we go. All right. So, question of the day. What do y'all think about those 5th edition changes there, guys? That's all I'm going to leave it at. Then we've got the Liquitex matte medium here. So about 1 part of that, 2 parts maybe. So a couple drops. Now this is again paint. This is what's going to allow the flow aid to actually stick. Not the flow aid, but the ink to actually stick to your model. The glaze will a little bit, but this will actually make it stick more to the model and not just in the recesses. Now, so let me get my magical mixing brush, aka the back end of another paintbrush, and let's see how fluid we got this so far. So it's alright. So now we need one, and I mean this, just 1 drop of this. This is to help with surface tension. Okay. And they call it fairy liquid in England and in Australia because it's magical. Get your dishes done. Yeah, we'll mix that up. See, I'm shaking shaking everything just by mixing it up. All right. All right. And then, actually, what we're going to do now, this airbrush thinner is going to allow us to thin this down just enough to where it moves a little bit better. So we're just going to do, this is more of a preference, so I'm going to start out with about 10 drops. Okay. So let's see here. Oh my gosh. Depends. I use droppers, man. It's the only way to do it. So he asked how many drops is 4 mils. If you don't have it, just count drops. 4 drops of glaze to 1 drop of matte medium. Let's see here. That didn't work. So we're going to spread a little bit more in there. So there we go. It's moving a little bit better. And maybe just a couple more drops. And hopefully we'll have it like... Okay, now let's wash the end. This is my oldest paintbrush, by the way. I think I've talked about this. I bought this paintbrush before me and my wife were married, and we've been married for like, it'd be 16 years this year. And I'll show you the tip on it. I mean, it's still a pretty good tip. I mean, it's a Reaper Kalinsky Sable 30-aught. So I spent $10 on that. It's like, I'm gonna make this brush last forever. It works. I used it the other day. So, alright. So if you look at the way this moves now, it actually moves about like the other medium does. The other medium is a little bit more fluid as well. So we could go a little bit thinner with that, but I don't want to. But we'll see how it performs. So what we're going to do is, got me a little cup here. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in that cup. Now just think about this. I didn't make a lot. It's not a full container. It's about half of a container. We're looking at about 25 cents worth of material here. This is $8. $8. 25 cents. You do the math. So let's see here. We got a little bit in there. Now here's the important part, is your ink. You have to use ink in this. So you can mix it with paint. That's fine, but there's more for the medium it's in here. There's more pigment and it's thinner, so it mixes better. So I'm going to put 1 drop of this blue. Chow, right there. So let's see what we got here. Okay. Mix that up some. Let's see how it flows. Not too bad, not too bad. So I didn't mix up a lot in that. So we're going to try something here real quick. So I've got a model here. And I'm going to put this on a shield. Let's see here. So mix it up a little bit like that. See how it looks. So we could get a little bit darker of a pigment in there if we need to. So let's go a little bit darker. Put about 4 drops in there. It's a lot. Okay. Mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it. Okay. Might be just a little bit too much. I like that blue. It just reminds me a lot of the old dice from the red box set. Anyway. See, now I've got too much ink in it, but that's fine. So it needs to be a little bit thinner. So this is all experimentation right now. So let's get a little bit more of this. I'm going to put a drop more of the airbrush thinner in because I want it a little bit thinner. It's a bit thick. Thinner. Now this is going to be shake my camera a little bit. This is my mixer. I got to show you what my kids got me for Father's Day. Oh yeah, they got me that nice mixer I've been looking for. Alright, so let's see here. So here we go. Here we go. It's blue. It's not translucent like we want it. So let's slather up this a little bit here. We'll put this right here on this guy. So the key that we're looking for is we're looking for this to settle in the crevices, and we are looking for it to tint. Now, I did not prime this model. So this is a Bones model. So we're trying to tint the plastic like it did with the other, the liner and the other stuff. So we're going to let this set for a minute and watch it move and see how well it moves. And, this could be a bust, but it was working earlier today. So I don't see why it wouldn't now. And, this color I picked probably isn't the best of colors. So, but it works. Let's see here. I'm going to try something here real quick. I'm going to drop some white. I'm going to attempt to make the color for, it's called Alchemist White. I think it's what it's called. It's the Citadel White contrast paint, which essentially it's just a really light gray. So, I'm going to use a bit of ink. And then I'm going to use what I got of this contrast real quick. Let's see here. Let's see where we're at with this. That's too blue. I don't want that like that. Here, I'm going to dump it. It's good. We're good. Use the magical pipette of washing. Give me some water in there. Dump it again. So the key is I want a light gray that's got a tint of blue in it. And the reason being is I've got these on these Eldar, they've got these things underneath them here. And it's cloth, and I want to be able to paint it, see how it turns out. So let's see if I can match my color first. Now on these bottles of ink, you've got essentially about 100 drops of ink per bottle. So that's a fairly dark gray right there. So what I'll do is I'll pour a little bit of it off. I don't mind wasting it if it's not where I want it, because this is all about experimentation. Okay. I know y'all can't see me right here, so give me just a second. Okay. It's a little bit better. So let's take, see what we can do here with this, actually, let's do this. Since I'm trying to mix that, I'm just going to dump all this ink in here. Alright, so we take this bottle, then we put it on the mixer. Hold on, guys. I love this thing. It's amazing. Alright. Oh, hush. Hush. Hush now. Jesus doesn't like it when you talk like that. Alright. Anyway, alright. My dirty paper towel. So we're going to see how this works. And it could be that I might have to repaint one of these guys after I get done with this. So we're going to attempt to see if this works. That's probably about the best way to put it. And I've got a little bit of extra water on my brush. That one doesn't. It's starting to recess, kind of like a wash. Now, what I would do here is, well, that's actually how we want that to perform for the shading. Let's just see how it works. Let's let that dry. I'm going to do it on this bigger guy. So, oh yeah, we got the staining there. Yeah. Oh, that looks great. Let's get some of these bubbles off. Yeah. So let's let some of them bubbles fall off there. We'll see how this looks here in a minute. It's going to have to set. And, I was told that it's apothecary white is the color that we're looking for. Okay, so we'll just let that sit right there. Got all these bubbles. I don't like bubbles. Let's see here. Okay. So, let's see. Let's let it set. Let it drip. Let's look what that blue's doing. So, it stained the plastic, and if that was a painted undercoat, it would probably stain it as well, and it is going into the recesses. So, this is working pretty much, to my experience with contrast paints, it's working like a contrast paint. So, if y'all want to say I'm wrong and stupid, and that's great, go for it. I'm okay with that. Let's see here. Now, I have been straightening up my area. This is only because we are packing. We're getting ready to put our house on the market, and we've actually already put in an offer on another house. So, we will be eventually moving soon. But yeah, let's see here. I'm going to get out a red. Let's do, that's a good red. So I want this dragon to be red. So, alright. So that's the thing that we're going to do here now. Let's work on Mr. Dragon while all that other stuff dries. Okay, so we got this heraldic red. I'm going to show you. You see how it's darker down here than it is up here? So I'm going to put it here on our wonderful paint mixer. Here's the thing. Here, I want to show this to you. Let's see here after I do this one bottle. So it's a little bit light still at the top, but I think it could be the plastic. But let me find a better bottle to show you with. So yeah, the only problem I've had with this is the extension cord, or the power cord, is not that long. So let's do this. Alright. This is the mixer right here. So what we'll do is I'll show you how, like with this white here. So check this out. Yeah, it's one of the best. Let's see here. I'm trying to find something that's separated really good. Sorry, I have to get to the paints. I'd put them out of the way just so I could work on this stuff, and now I'm like, oh, I should have got my paints out. Okay. Ah, here's a good one. Ceramite White from GW. One of the worst paints of all time to separate. Now, if it's properly mixed, it actually performs really well. So, let's see here. You see here on, we've got the separation here. And this on the outside is just paint on the outside. But see how it's separated? You can see the medium down towards the bottom there. It moves on you. So, we'll just put it here. Hold on. Get in there, it's your home. Turn it upside down, get it around the tip too. Alright. And you'll see how creamy it is here in a minute. Okay, let's move our camera back. Okay. So, we are working with the Dragon. First thing we're going to do with Mr. Dragon here is let me move all this other stuff out of the way. Get out of the way, everything. I need some room. I ain't got a lot of room right now. So take my white that I just put out. Let's make sure it's not clogged. There we go. So, there's our white that we just mixed up. First thing we're going to do is get out the magic dry brush. So underpainting is the ability to use whites, grays, and browns to paint a miniature before you actually put color on it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and we're going to dry brush all these scales and we're going to move this way. That's a little bit too much still. So what we're doing is we're leaving those... I messed up, guys. Okay, I'll come back to that. We're doing this dry brush on top of here, and we're picking out the edges of the scales. This isn't going to be perfect. It just never is with me. Yeah, I had a little bit too much paint in there. So it still leaves the lines from the wash. Oh, crap. I try to get part of this done before we do the show, so we don't have to wait for the wash to dry. I always wanted a red dragon. Usually want to do a downward stroke when you're dry brushing stuff like this. It catches the bottoms better, the bottoms of the scales a little bit better. Here's the thing. I'm shaking that screen to the stinking camera to death. Is there anybody in the chat room there? Fake. Nobody's chatting. Come on, guys. So, hitting those highlights on that head. He might be running late. He's usually here. Nicole. I know a Nicole. So let's talk about D&D. 5e. 5e, guys. Let's talk about 5e. So, if y'all keep up with the news, what do you think about them changing things around? A lawful good orc. Alright, so we've got this dry brushing here. I did mess up here, which is fine. It happens. Okay, now, and I bumped that stupid camera again. Alright. Let me put my dry brush up that I never wash. Alright, now we take this red that we got out a minute ago. Heraldic red. And we are going to put it down. And it's, yeah, it's a good color. It's a good red. Now I'm going to take a little bit airbrush thinner. 2 drops. 2 drops. What we're trying to do is we're trying to thin this down to where it is a little transparent. So I'm going to check it up here on these wings. Okay, so it's kind of pinkish up here, which is fine. Okay. So let's see if this works. We're going to slobber it all over. And what this is going to do is where this is transparent, that brown's going to pop right back through when it dries. If it doesn't, we'll fix it. And yeah, I should have waited a little bit longer for this to dry because I'll probably get a little pink on it. But that's fine. But we're trying to get that to be a little bit of a darker red in the recesses, which is okay. No, I bought the Master Series paints. I just wanted to see how well they worked, and I mean, they're okay. I mean, if Reaper wants to send me more, I mean, I'm willing to take it and use it. But yeah, I paid $8 for this dragon after taxes. It's a mighty good deal. So anyway, I'm not trying to be political, but this is just, it's gotten into my spectrum here. And, you know, Troll Lords has always taken the stance that we are going to remain non-political, which is fine. But, I mean, this kind of affects the business. Now, I don't work for Troll Lords. I'm really good friends with Chuck, and I've met Tim, and I was actually introduced to Steven to Derek, the Geek Preacher, and I fell in love with their product, and I thought they had a good product and stuff. So, but I mean, Troll Lords puts out a lot of 5th edition stuff, and you know, in each setting, if you ever looked at Dragonlance, Greyhawk, all that stuff, the monsters behave a little differently per the setting because it's just a different monster if you think about it. So, like, do you think with the orc, I'm not really concerned with the drow, but do you think, like, with the orcs, will it change in Castles and Crusades and all the stuff that we do for Earth? Or, wait, is that how I pronounce it? I can't even pronounce it anymore. Do you think it's going to make changes? I mean, how's it going to affect your game? Now, I will say Ravenloft, which is my favorite setting for D&D, is, those gypsies were based on the, European gypsies, and yeah, that is a trope. And to today's definition, tropes and stereotypes are considered racist. Even if you don't hate those people, it's still considered racist. And I learned that, that's one of those things. So just food the thought. How's that going to affect your game? Now I know that it looks like we're just doing nothing but slathering this on here, and that's pretty much what we're doing. So going to make it look ugly before it looks good. Yeah. It never looks. Hey, what's going on? King Kofar. Do think I might need to raise this up a little bit. I keep hitting it. But that's okay. We don't need paint on the bottom of the feet. So now, and I'm going to show you this underbelly of the dragon. I'm going to paint it weird. Everybody's going to be like, what? That's impossible. And then you're going to be like, oh man, I never thought about that. So, let's see here. We just want to get this first coat of red on here. And you can see the light is kind of affecting it. But it is darker underneath the scales in the grooves there. So, yeah, we found this house. We fell in love with it. And we just decided to go ahead and make an offer, man. It's I'm going to have a place for a D&D, or I say D&D, a role-playing table, and a wargaming table. So that's one of the sales of my wife. She said, Daniel, just think, we can, crap, I got this on my monitor. Just think, Daniel, you can buy yourself that table you've been wanting. I fell in love with, actually, it's funny how I met this guy. The company's called Hammered Game Tables, and so I met him through Derek as well, and the owner. And so my name is Daniel Fisher. His name is Daniel Fisher. Both of our moms are named Patricia, and our favorite color is green. And our daytime job is the same thing, computer programmer. I know, except that he can work the wood like no. Wait, that didn't sound right either. He's really good at woodworking. If you get a chance, just look up his stuff. And I'm not trying to sell it. I don't get no kickback from this guy. It's just hammered game tables. I mean, it's just like some awesome looking stuff. He's the guy who built the table for Lake Geneva's museum for Gary Gygax. He's also the table that they use at GaryCon for the celebrity game. It's his table. So I do know that a few celebrities have bought his tables as well. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Bit on the pricey side, but it's all heirloom quality furniture. Something that you'll give to your kids, and they'll be like, man, my dad was such a dork. I'm never going to play this game. Hold on. Camera's getting adjusted. Yeah. Well, There we go. Roll for initiative. Sell some dice. Let's see here. Okay. So we've pretty much got this slathered on. And I'm not going to deal with the wings tonight, per se. So now, the next thing we're going to do is get our next color out. I should have been prepared better for this. Oh, I don't already have one out. It's all my box of unpainted crap. My wife's like, you need to start packing that stuff up. We're going to use an army painter color this time. Well, she understands that part of this stuff is, as far as, and y'all are hearing the conversation in my ear. I've got Bake in my ear. So if y'all have any questions, he will relay it to me, and I will answer it. So it's just, it's better on my computer if I don't have Twitch up. So I'm going to use Barbarian Flesh. Oh, that fabulous bean footage. It's just it's $64 on Amazon, man. It's called Ink something and other. It's they say it's good for mixing up nail polish and tattoo ink. It says Premier Lash on the side, but okay. So we got this flesh. We're mixing it up with our leftover red. Okay. Now this is where I'm gonna start edging stuff. It's gonna take a couple coats to clean this up too. Again, we're making this table ready. This isn't like some high-end dragon. See, I've missed a spot there I'm going to fix. Like, this isn't some like high-end dragon model. This is like a toy. And that's the thing though, if you could find a monster that, like at Hobby Lobby, they got like all these animals and stuff like that, and they have like 4 different types of dragons. And this is the only one that didn't have a movable jaw, and I just didn't want to deal with like gluing it shut. But I mean, if you can find a toy to substitute for some of this stuff, because toys are usually considerably cheaper. I think a dragon of this size on the Reaper's Bones is almost $30. And I know, see, I missed a big spot right there too. Right there. So, right. See, you can also see the reason why I'm not painting the wings. They're my handle. So this gives it a brownish red underbody. And so this allows us to, give it that 2 different tones, but it's still a good color because we got a little bit of red, a little bit of brown. If you look at lizards, their bottoms are usually a lighter color than their tops. Okay. Alright. Okay. You probably noticed I didn't mix any more of the flow aid, or the thinner actually, into the paint. It's because flesh is a brown, which is opaque, not opaque but translucent. Sorry guys, I'm missing my words up today, and my hands are shaking a little bit today too. It's because I had a weed eat, And when I weed eat, my hands shake for like 2 days afterwards. I get to see Chuck tomorrow. He's dog sitting my puppy. Like peeing outside and not in the house, I'd love that. Yeah, let's see here. Anybody got any questions tonight? Now remember, I do have a Facebook page and I do have a Discord server. But to get to the Discord server, which I stay in it most of the time, you have to become a Patreon, which gives you a little bit of access to me outside. And I'm not anybody special, but I'm just a busy person. But it gives you access a little bit better to me outside of this. So if you have any questions about your hobbies, and I can help you with it, then I'll be there for you. Put a little bit of this brown here on this inside of his paw. Okay, now I've got to clean up some of these spots. But first, let's come in here to this face. It's actually... I'd rather do a horse-sized duck because duck is one of my favorite poultries, and I could eat on that for like a month. Okay, so we're putting this flesh down on his head right here, and the reason being is we're going to, while this is still wet, start blending it in a little bit. Now, this isn't per se wet blending like we've talked about in the past, and I'm going to try to do some of that tonight. Okay, so we're going to come in here around the eyes. This is your wet blending. Pulls the color down a bit. So, I'm supposed to go camping this weekend, just down the road, so we're not very far. And we're gonna, I'll sneak and bring all my materials to run a Castles Crusades game. So what'll happen is all my friends will be like, man, you know, it's with family and friends, and they'll be like, man, I wish we had the stuff to play D&D. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm always ready. So here we go. So it's a little messy of a blend. So we're going to let that dry for a second before we start working on that other stuff. So let's do this. Alright. The wet palette's not so wet. I'm going to change this paper out. Proper housekeeping. I didn't do it before we started. If I can find it. And it's kind of dried out some. Okay, so I need to find some flat surface that I can paint, so we can practice wet blending. But Daniel, you're going to teach us how to wet blend in one afternoon? Yes, guys. To the best of my ability, I'm going to teach you all how to wet blend. So what I'm doing now is just adding a little bit of this dirty water to my wet palette. You want that water nice and dirty. It's the only way to handle water. Come on. That dirty water set in there. Alright. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I keep bottle caps around for things like this. First thing I need to do is put down some white. Okay, there's a drop of white. Then we're going to need some of that red that we had out a minute ago. Red. A little bit more red than normal. The hardest thing to paint miniature-wise. It depends on what you're like. Are you talking about what on a miniature to paint, or trying to get into areas because of the way the model's made? Like, they make brushes for that, which is pretty cool. For me, it's glass. I've been trying to practice at painting fluids inside of glass, making it look like there's fluids in there. Alright, we got a little bit of black. Alright. First thing I'm going to do, a little bit more black. So we're going to take a little bit of this black, and it's not going to work. Wrong black. We'll use the good black. This is the best black. Look at that, how it moves. This is Craft Smart Black from, I believe it came from Michaels. Look how much difference that makes. We're just trying to put down a primer real quick. But yeah, glass for me, like making something look like it's a glass with fluid in it, is hard for me. Until I learned how to paint eyes, I used to struggle with painting eyes. But there's a few tricks out there for that. I covered a while back, and if I need to do it again, I will. Okay, so let's let this dry. I'm going to blow sweet nothings in your ear. There you guys go. What's the hardest thing for you to paint, man? Okay. So, faces. Faces. Have a problem with faces? You want to learn the easy way or the correct way? Answer me now, or forever hold your peace. Okay, so let's let this dry for just a second. He said faces. He has issues with faces. Faces. Guess I didn't cover this well enough last time. Let's see here. Nope. Going through the box of shame. Nope. try to find something with a good face. Nope. Oh man, this guy right here, his face is all like hidden in his clothes. Let's see what the other guy was. Where'd he go? Yeah, this Derek. What? I know exactly what I'm doing, Derek. Derek, we've been talking about Dungeons and Dragons. Alright, so let's let this dry for just a second so we can do this guy's. He wants to learn how to do faces. Alright, we'll let that dry. Hopefully I didn't put too much paint on there. Okay, so is my lid almost dry? Derek, this is my friend. Oh my gosh, those Hero Forge miniatures. Oh my, I told everybody they're going to look like a hot mess because that's not new technology. That technology's been out for over 10 years. They just implemented, you paid for them to implement, get one of those printers and implement that on their website. If you hadn't seen those Hero Forge miniatures, they're pre-colored miniatures. Alright, so we've got black, red, and white. So what are we going to do here? We're going to pull this up here. We're going to pull this up here. We're going to mix this together. Okay, we're going to do this on a flat surface. Now, key is we need a little bit of water. Water is very important in this step. So we're going to paint this up this way. Going to make it nice and wet. Make sure it stays wet. Okay, like that. See, now we got this red black color. Now we'll clean the brush out a little bit. We're going to come up in here into the red a little bit more. We're coming this way now. It's got to be wet now. I'm going to keep it wet. It's hard for me to see because of this glare. Okay. I'm trying to do this fast. It's going to be a little messy. Okay, guys? I'm bringing this down a little bit more. Get a little bit more of that water. Key is keeping it wet. That's why it's called wet blending. Okay, now we'll pull out that color, go for a little bit more red, a little bit more water, a little bit more red. We'll come in here like this. Now we're going to bring it down a little bit further. We're mixing these colors together. Okay. I know it's not the smoothest right now because there's little lumps of something in there. I don't know what that is. Okay, so see how we've got this transition so far. It's not even, it's fine. So we're going to bring it in a little bit more with a little bit lighter red. A little bit more water. Okay. Now, we're getting something done. See this? Okay, now, let's clean the brush out for a minute. Okay, we're going to pull this up a little bit. We're going to make sure this is still wet. Okay. We're going to smooth it out some. That's what we're doing right now. Okay. Not trying to mess it up. See it's trying to pull up some of that black paint that we didn't have dry very well. Okay, now we're going to bring in a little bit of white. It's going to bring us a pink. Pink, as we call it here in East Tennessee. Pink. Okay. So we're going to come up here a bit more. Bring it in a little bit this way. Okay. See what we're doing? Bring that red up a little bit. It's a little bit too wet. Now we're going to bring in the last color. White. It's not pretty yet. So see, that's what a wet blend is. It's a quick wet blend. Now this isn't perfect because this is I didn't have it primered very well. But we've transitioned. That's the key, is keeping this wet. We transition. We start dark and we start bringing in lighter tones and taking it this way. Okay. And you can see where it actually pulled off some of that primer we put down. So let's try that again. So let's wipe this off. Okay, clean lid. Then we're going to. Dang it! I don't want that to come off next time. We're gonna have to let it dry a little bit better. So we'll go back to our dragon for a minute. But I'm gonna use a little bit of this Vallejo primer because it should bond a little bit better. And it'll be a little bit more interesting considering it's a lighter color. So gotta build it up because it's not being airbrushed on. Just don't feel like dealing with the airbrush right now. Sometimes it's a hassle. Derek, tell Arthur I said hi. Let's see here. There we go. And sometimes it's good to have a smooth lid too, but now you can see how this will work for like on 40K for like shields, or not shields, but shoulder pads, and then on like fantasy creatures like muscles and things like that. Okay, let's do this again. All right, hopefully that'll be good enough. Let's let that sit. All right, let's go back to Mr. Dragon. Mr. Dragon. Okay. A little bit more of my barbarian flesh. Now, you see, we kind of did do a blend here. Okay. Into his face some. So what I want to do now is I'm going to bring this. Get too much paint on it. And we're just going to come back in here and we're going to lift this up a little bit on the top parts here. Not too bad. So see, I had it too close to my head. Y'all didn't see that. So what we're doing is we're just coming in here with the flesh, hitting these top parts on the dragon. So some of the best ways I've seen to use these contrast paints are do an airbrush. It works really well. Alright, let's do a snout. Look at that snout. You just got a crazy snout there, buddy. Let's just do that. But airbrushes are good. Thing is, you got to keep the material moving. So let's look at Mr. Eldar here. See how that turned out. Actually didn't turn out bad at all. Let's look at the other one. The other one still had a little bit of bubbles left in him. So those dried on there. I might have to go back and fix it. But it did stain like it was supposed to. That white. And that white, that last coat of white was ink that I put on there. So we could possibly go a little bit darker with the pigment. More pigment, the better it's going to stain. Okay, so now we're going to come up under here, paint his neck. So you can't see. Actually, the hardest thing to paint is on camera. My joke of the day. Come in here, do my edges. There we go. And I will fix his red here in a minute. See, I'm getting quiet, guys. And if there's any ladies out there, don't take offense. I just say guys for everything. Okay, so the undercarriage is done. The undercarriage of the dragon. Alright, let's put another coat of primer on this again. I want to try to make it as opaque as possible. Yeah, I really should just airbrush this. Probably would have been a little bit quicker. And less streaky. My producer guys told me to use the airbrush. So he said, guys, listen, don't listen to this joker. He needs to use his airbrush. Let's get the water out of it from where I cleaned it earlier on my hand like a normal person does. Okay. It won't take but a second with that compressor running. It doesn't even take a lot of primer when you shoot it through an airbrush. I mean, can you not tell the difference? I'm gonna put it on thick though. Get on there. Alright. So this is how I clean my... Ow, crap. My headphones hit the mic. I'm sorry, guys. So here's how I clean my airbrush. Take it, and I put it in my paint water bottle. Just throw it in there. It just sits in there. And then when I actually need to clean it, I just throw it in the ultrasonic. Okay, we'll let this dry. Look at that. Look at that right there. That's what she said. Alright, so let's fix the red. Let's fix the red on the dragon where I missed some spots. So, for you people that have a airbrush, have you ever airbrushed your washes? It actually goes on, you use less wash, and it goes on really smooth. That's a little bit too much. Let's see here. This is fine, we're just in this area here. Okay. So the question in my ear was, what type of clear coat do I use? It depends. Mainly, I use an Army Painter matte medium, but I usually throw a layer of Krylon satin finish on first, then I hit it with the matte medium. The Krylon does not wipe off as easy as the matte varnish does. A lot of matte varnishes, unless you're shooting testers still coat, which is your thing, it actually wipes off fairly easy, like if you handle it too much. But if you use the satin varnish from Krylon, it'll puts another layer of protection on it first. and then it's when you hit it with the matte medium to dull it down. But yeah, if you don't want to use that, you can use stuff like the poly shades from Minwax and stuff like that. Let's see here. So I pretty much fixed the spots that needed fixing. Let's see here. Yeah, Mark. All right. So there's his undercoat. We got some brown right there. Let's fix that. There we go. Come on. Paint needs to stick there. Why is it not sticking there? So we're going to let this dry. Bit here. I'm going to put some red on the head. All right. Let's check our lid. Oh, still a little wet. Fine. Let's look at this guy. He dried shiny. Now, I will tell you, another thing you can add to this, okay? And I don't have any, and I wish I did. It's a product called Flatitive. Seriously called Flatitive. It is, Badger has some, Minotaur has some, and it will take any glossy whatever and make it flat. By the power of science. Squeaky chair. Alright. So let's get set up again for our wet blending. Wet blending. It's how you're supposed to say it. Okay. Let's see here. Is this dry? No. Like I said, I'm going to do red again. I was just asked if I was going to do red again. Of course I'm going to do red. Because I already got it out. Just get it out. I'm trying to think. Okay. I'm really just waiting for that. Oh, yeah. So, the details of this guy's face are kind of crap, okay? I'm going to admit this. But he kind of looks like a Who from Whoville. I don't know if you can see that. But we're going to paint him. So, we got this barbarian flesh out. I'm going to show you the easy way to do this. Okay. A little bit of barbarian flesh. And we'll just, a bit of white right here. Watch this. It's the magic of painting. So we're going to pull this in right here. Okay. First thing we do is we get all the low spots. I'm not doing the eyes. I'm not worried about the eyes. And where this is kind of thinned out, it's kind of settling on it. So let's move it around here. There. Boom, it's done. I'm just kidding. Let's see here. It's not wanting to take paint very well. Why are you doing this to me? Hold on. It's like it's too wet. Okay, so we have a wet face. Then we come up to a little bit of a lighter color, and we hit the forehead, the lighter color, nose, and the cheekbones. This isn't a really good face to do this with. Then we come back up to the white, what we can on our brush, and then we just hit top of the cheeks, a little bit, tip of the nose, and brow. Okay, it's gonna look like a hot mess until I do some magic here. But what you would do after that is that's when you would wash it once it dries. And the wash will actually blend it. And washing is actually kind of important on wet blending, and I'll explain why. Actually, more of a glaze is. So we're ready. And I'm going to revisit faces again. I need to find a bigger model because it's really hard with these bones to paint these faces because, one, they're not that detailed. So we're going to mix our red, black again. Okay. We're going to get a little bit of this water. We're going to bring it across here. My dirty, dirty water. It's going to look different because we've got such a light undercoat. Okay. So you can see through it. But you can see what's happening. Darker undercoat. Especially with this Vallejo. Okay. So now we'll bring in the red. Might be able to see it better what we're doing here. And again, this isn't going to be pretty, but this will allow us to show you what's going on. Okay. Get the pure red here. It's too much white, so let's bring it back up this way. See, now this is the only thing I don't like about the Vallejo primer. Look at how that moves off. Just frustrating. Hold on. We're at Fail City today, guys. My producer says I should start paying attention to my microphone. Wait, what was that? Well, the primer's still on there. That's not the problem. It's just it's moving. It's like the paint is literally coming off of it. Alright, let's put the black down. I don't think it'll move on the black because it's more matte. This primer is a satin primer anyway. It's made for Gundam models. Willie! We missed you, man. Well, I got the black out, though. Let's paint these eyeballs. Alright. Let's paint the eyeball of the dragon. my big fat brush too. Okay. Alright. Here's the eyeballs. The beady eyes of the dragon. Now let's go with the mouth here. Take a little bit of that red. Just put it all up in here. Got the tongue. So here's a hard part to paint. The inside of this mouth. Alright. And let's do this right here. So what, I mean, literally we've only used, as far as paint goes so far, 3 colors so far on this. Time to use the mixer again. $4,000 RPMs. Alright, I need a little bit of skeleton bone here. Get access to them Reaper paints real quick. Alright. Move our lid out of the way. We're going to get that wet blending down, guys. Okay. We're going to do these wonderful teeth. So your honest opinion, guys, about the dragon with the flesh on its belly. What do you think so far? Gold. Oh. So one time actually somebody gave me a Raw Partha miniature a few years back, and it had it was 3 dragon eggs, and one of them was hatching, and I've got it somewhere around here. But the way I ended up doing is I put it on a 1" by 1" piece of wood, and then I stole. This is when I was, dating my wife, and she used to wear jelly bracelets. Like, punk rock kids, that's what we did. Wore stupid stuff like that all the time. And so I stole one of her broken jelly bracelets, and I sliced it up like coins, and I glued them all around the eggs, and then painted that gold. Worked pretty good. Let's see here. Get them claws. Get some like claw action. See, I've got to go back and fix his paws. Paws. See, what I'll do before I paint the wings, though, is I'll actually clear coat some of these legs, just so I have something to hold on to. Willie, we missed you. We were wondering where you were at. as I shake the camera. Trying to think about this back piece, how to paint it and what to paint it. Yeah. His spine. Should the wings be a darker color or should they be a lighter color? Messed up. See, I messed up there too. Okay. Get kind of hungry. Okay. Girl, he just got his nails did. Alright. Pretty good face so far. I like it. Alright. Alright. Should his spine be darker? Maybe. That's what we'll look at. Alright. Let's try this again. Somebody wants us to do it in blue. I'm renting our room though. Oh. Wow. I can't eat stuff like that. Alright. A little bit of black. A little bit of blue. And a little bit of white. Let's try this again. Where'd my white go? Alright. Nope. A little bit of airbrush flow thinner. Alright. Ah, it's pulling that stinking paint off again. Look at that. I don't think this wants to work tonight, guys. No, I don't think it would. Let's find something else. Gosh, this is getting on my nerves. See, that blue isn't. I don't think it's going to work. It's too transparent. Never seen a blue so transparent. Yeah. Let's get a good time on the paint mixer. Give it a good time on the paint mixer. Maybe it didn't mix it right the first time. Let's see what we got for a difference here. It's a little bit more opaque. Let's find out. Okay. I guess I just didn't mix it good right the first time. A little bit. Tighten this a little bit better. Some of this white right here. Sorry, trying to darken this some. Let's hold it flat like this because I don't like how it's moving around. Ugh. It's a syrupy mess. Turn the slide off real quick. I'll get help. There we go. We're getting it. See how we get the transition? Just want a little bit more white right there. Okay. I don't know if you could see it very well. See how we got the transition in the colors? So, yeah, that's the key, is to be subtle. So let's let that dry, because there's one last trick we have to do with that to make it actually work. Okay, let's see here. We missed a couple of spots on this paw here. Right. Right. And right here. Now let's bring all this together. With Mr. Dragon. Oh my gosh, where's this at? There it is. Alright. This Army Painter Red Tone. We need some of the magical stuff. The very expensive magical stuff. And I'm going to concentrate this on his... Got a bit of it in there. I'm going to concentrate right now on his head. Dirt my brush. Never hurt anybody. Okay. As Citadel says, just slather it on. Now we want to put this on the brownish areas here, and this is mainly to give it more of a red tint than it already has. Right. It looks like a dirty wet mess, but that's mainly because that contrast medium is white and the tone acts up with it, so I played Dungeon Crawl Classics Sunday night, and I was running a funnel. For y'all that don't know what that is you start out with about 4. Each player starts out with 4 level 0 characters. The concept behind Dungeon Crawl Classics is that you've got ordinary people thrown into an extraordinary situation. So they're like farmers, woodcutters, stuff like that. And they don't get their actual RPG class until they get to level 1. And it takes 10 experience points or a funnel. Is what that is, pretty much. So let's let that sit here for a second. So you'll see what we're looking at. Look at the face on that thing. This is what this is going to do is it's going to go to the recesses, but the color is actually going to help blend everything together as well. So we're going to let that set. Anyway, so we played this funnel, and I was running it, and of course, I made sure I grabbed the hardest funnel I could get. It was like in the description in the first paragraph of this funnel, it says, "This is a TPK funnel. It is designed to kill the entire party." I kid you not. They do not even get out of the first room. The entire party is wiped out. And it's just watching them. I mean, these guys have played Dungeon Crawl Classics before. They've never played this funnel before. And I just went to town. Just completely obliterating them. And they were rolling horribly too. I don't know what it was. It's just so bad. Alright, so we got some flesh wash right here. And I'm just going to take a drop of it. Boom. It's a dirty brown. Okay, And so this guy here that we're trying to build up his face. So we put this here. It settles in the recesses and gives it highlights and stuff. This is the easy way to do it. There he is. He actually has a mouth. I can see a mouth. These models are so tiny. It's not that the models are tiny. It's just they don't put a lot of detail in the faces. Okay, now let's see. Is this dry up? No, but you can see the blend in it there. And there's a kicker we got to do here in a minute for this. And I will use this to mix up what we got to put on it. Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, like, they were fighting these larvae. One larva on each person. They were rolling so bad. One guy's like, I'm just going to play dead. I was like, well, the larva's looking for your liver, so it's attacking you. It doesn't matter. They just didn't get it. Bunch of kids. Not really kids. They're like 20 years younger than me, but still. Alright, Mr. Dragon. What are we looking at? So on his face there, it doesn't look bad at all. Especially with that wash blending everything in. Still drying though. I think this is actually going to look a lot better than what it did coming out of the store. I get it done. I always wanted a really good model for a dragon. All the ones I have are kind of tiny. Alright. This will probably be the last few minutes. I'm kind of hurting in the knee today. So I'm going to let this dry up. So we might end it a few minutes early after I show you this really cool trick. If my producer says it's okay. Alright, so there's your face. Quick and dirty. I just don't like using washes when I can get away with it. But they each got their own purpose. Alright, so this wonderful trick. This is the stuff right here. Put a drop of this in here. One drop. Let's give it two. I'm thinking about making a whole big batch of the contrast medium, though. I think it'd be kind of interesting. Alright, now we're going to take one tiny drop of said paint. That blue. Alright. So we're making a glaze. And once you do a wet blend, it's always good to put a glaze over it. So, let's see. I'll show you how opaque this is. Or not opaque, but translucent. It's one from dang Amazon. It's if you Google Vortex mixers, it's the one at $64 with $4 shipping. It's black. It's all black. But it says Premier Lash on the side of it, but it's just a Chinese name. The other sticker on the side of it says something about tattoo ink. Okay, so this is still drying a little bit. So okay. So there's two little wet pools, and I don't want to mess with them. But Willie, before you do anything, this is the hardest stuff to get. in the world right here, and it's magic. This is absolute magic. I will sell you this bottle for $30. It's a deal. Let's see what it does when I... So like, it's just amazing. It doesn't even mix, because it doesn't need mixing. It's homogeneous. He wasn't here for that conversation. Okay. Alright. I think this is as dry as it's going to get. So, we have... We'll put 1 drop of thinner in this. 1 small drop of thinner. Alright. Alright. So, we've just essentially mixed a glaze with blue. And we did a blue, dark blue to light blue transition. This might be just a little bit too opaque, but we'll see. See, I could have just ruined it right here, guys. Let's see how this dries. So, okay, the principle behind this, okay, and I may have just ruined it because I may have had just a little bit too much paint in it, is that when you do a transition like that, it looks great, but in order to make it blend really nice, it's just you coat it with a glaze of that color, and it just comes out looking a lot better. So, I think we just may have messed it up. So, let's see if I can fix it. I'm not showing y'all how I'm fixing this, because you'd be like, that's cheating. Because I know my producer will be like, listen, man, you can't be doing these things. Huh? I know. There you go. It's fixed. Alright, but no, seriously though, on that glaze, I just needed to go a little bit thinner on it. I didn't go thin enough, and that was my problem. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. Today was a bust. I'm sorry. Wasn't that great. But we started our dragon. We are going to finish this dragon. It's going to look pretty dang awesome. I've got about 10 minutes left, so we can chit chat while I clean up my mess I've got going on right now, and talk about a few things. We do have a Kickstarter at Troll Lords right now. If somebody wants to throw that up into the chat window, going on for 5th edition module. I can't remember which one it is. Is it Monsters of Air in 5th edition? I can't remember. Anyway. Yeah, the Monsters and Treasures for 5th edition. If you like 5th edition, I don't know why, try it. You might like it. Everybody seems to like it. Let's see here. I know that Steven is working on a new setting. It's kind of top secret. I'm just going to leave it at that. It'll work with Siege Engine stuff. So with Castles and Crusades. I may have just told you all too much. That means I'm going to get shot later. But yeah, Steven's working on a new setting. He's talked about this before and stuff, so it's not too much of a secret, but I'm still not going to tell you what it is, just in case I'm not supposed to. It's not like I'm privy to it anyway, so if y'all read the emails that go out every once in a while, then you would know what I'm talking about. Let's see here, what else? I don't know what else is going on. I got my Patreon set up if y'all want to go visit that. Again, recipes get released on there first. To my mid-tier backers, you get access to my Discord channel, which isn't great right now. I'm still setting it up and tweaking it out, but that's where I sit at all day long. You can ask me questions in there. I'll be like, oh, hey, yeah, and answer them for you. And we can work on things together. Just check that out. And eventually, let's see here. I think I'm the only person on Twitch right now. I don't know why. Hopefully soon we'll get all this changed out to where I can actually see your chat stuff in the feed while I paint and things like that, and make it a little bit more interesting for you guys. I'm thinking about getting rid of my face here, and just making this window here bigger. Feedback on that would be awesome if y'all think that would be better, so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. I don't think my face is beautiful enough to be put right there, so Chuck thinks it's gorgeous. His words, not mine. Let's see here. But outside of that, I hope y'all have a safe holiday. Or no, it's not holiday. Next weekend's the holiday weekend. But I hope y'all have a safe weekend, and have fun and paint something and play some games and spend some time with your friends and family, and enjoy the hobby. See you guys later. Bye.